Mic check, mic check. Mic check. Good morning. Mic check. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, let's get to it. We are going to, I'm a little early today, so I'm going to actually be building this watch list out with you as we go through it. So we'll start with SPY. This pullback from yesterday's, well, as the FOMC has fully retraced. It fully retraced that drop in the pre-market and has since then kind of pulled back, but then started to rally back up. So, you know what? This just signals to me more indecision. It's nothing surprising outside of the market conditions that we've been in. We know that these, let me pull out my red pen here. We know that these sell-offs have been V-shape recovering. We know that that's been happening. So the big question is, we got the sell-off, we got the V-shape recovery, and now we're getting another sell-off. Does this continue? Does this put in, is this actually going to be a higher low that continues up, or is this just simply a break of this uptrend trend line that will continue down that puts in a lower high? So there's different scenarios here. Again, I don't know what the bias would be. My assumption is that we continue up, and here's why. Anytime you have a sell-off or a big move that then fully retraces back up, typically that doesn't warrant a continuation down. Typically what that means is that this is going to be a reversal move here. So the different scenarios looks like this. Possible high or low recovery move up, or, I guess I should have flipped these colors. Possible, oh, I didn't know I could do an arrow. Oh, that's pretty cool. Or possible lower high continuation down. You know, and who knows where this goes from here. I think we just have to trade the price action. So for that reason, our pre-market high is at 532. We are going to look to take SPY long above 532. Otherwise, since it is a gap up this morning, I like the short idea under the previous day's closing price at 525. And then, you know, we'll just kind of hope for proper direction and hopefully we don't get an inside day. But if we do, then can't be surprised there either. But yeah, hopefully looking for direction, either a higher high or the continuation down on the break of the previous day's closing price. That would give you a green to red move. And then the price target there would be somewhere around 520, 521. All right, AMD, next one on the watch list. I really like this setup. It is another one that has sold, you know, it sold off yesterday, and I put it on the watch list today specifically for a possible gap fill topside because of the recovery move. If we look at this, if we look at this on the daily, there is a gap from yesterday's high of day to the prior day's low of day. Back to the 5-minute time frame, look at how big that gap is. Gaps tend to fill very quickly because this price action happens overnight and so quickly, right? And if we're looking at this price action, like, where is the stutter? Where is the pullback? Where is the resistance here? It's not clear. It's not existent, really. Because these moves happen overnight, there's little to no price action in this gap, which means that on a reclaim or an entry into this gap, AMD can make a really fast move to start to fill it topside. Will that happen today? Who knows? We could get a scenario where this maybe rallies up to the gap and rejects. That could be a possibility. But I think that it's wise that we at least look for an entry into the gap. So you would say, okay, long above 90.5. right, for the break into the gap. If you would like to be aggressive here, you can be. I don't know that I will be, but if you'd like to be aggressive here, you could go long on a break of this downtrend trend line and a true higher high, a break of the pre-market high, under the assumption that this is just going to go right through the gap area and into it. You'd look like a genius if you did that, if the stock actually moved that way, because you'd be taking your entry much earlier than where I plan to take mine, which would be up here. So for my watch list, I'm going to be a little more conservative, long above 90.5. My fear with going aggressive on this and going long early, my fear is that this rejects that area and pulls back, just like it did here and just like it did right here. So we will be looking for an entry into the gap on AMD long above 90.5. Now, because I'm going somewhat aggressive, not totally aggressive, but somewhat aggressive with the long trigger, I do not feel the need to be overly aggressive with the short. Though, if you came to me and said, Gates, I like AMD short under 87.5, I would not be mad at that at all. I wouldn't mind that at all, because you have all of this pre-market after hours price action the day prior that did act as a point of support. Then you've got the opening price at that price point, and you've got the bear flag breakdown also at that price point, and the after hours bounce off of 87.5. All of that works. I just want to be a little more conservative. I'm going to slide it down 50 cents. Short idea under 87. Because again, I just don't want to go short on this at 87.5 and then see something like this happen, right? Where it bounces off of 87 and maybe even recovers through there. So if you'd like to be aggressive on the short, 87.5 works. Otherwise, long idea above 90.5 and short idea below 87. Did anybody's Discord just go out? Mine is blank. Oh, there it goes. Maybe it was just refreshing. Okay. Yeah, it is the last trading day of the week. You're right, Alex. Tomorrow is no markets closed. So we will, be mindful that if you're trading this week's contracts, they expire today, which I actually did not mention all week long. I think I've been saying, yeah, I'm taking Friday's expiration. It's actually Thursday's. All right, next on the list, let's look. So I haven't built the rest of the watch list out yet, so we're going to do this together. Tesla. So Tesla, we know that Tesla's had a range on the daily. Hold on, let me move my stuff around here. Okay, Tesla's been shaping up this range on the daily. This is all your price action. Yesterday breaks down to the bottom side of this range and is now back, since the V-shaped recovery, back inside of the range. So we do not care. We do not care about trading Tesla while it's in this zone. While it could recover and make a decent move back up to the top side of the range, there's just so much resistance overhead that it doesn't have clear room to run. So it doesn't make sense to trade Tesla topside. You can, maybe it would work out. I'm not going to. I would rather just let this go, hit 260, and then we'll trade it, going into next week on a break of 260 if that's the move that it wants to make. I like Tesla still on the watch list because it hasn't made so much of a recovery. I like Tesla still on the watch list as a short idea under 240. I'm pulling that off of this bottom over here. I know this chart kind of looks crazy, but bear with me for a second. So I'm pulling that off of this bottom support over here. And then more importantly, yesterday and today, you have support there at 240 from yesterday. You've got after hours support there at 240 yesterday. And then that would also be a break of your previous day's closing price and a breakdown from this most recent uptrend, which we could argue is possibly a bear flag. So we're going to look to take Tesla short below $240. And what we're going to say, we'll just go ahead and put this on the watch list together. We'll say Tesla short below 240, no long trigger, right? We don't care about trading this inside of the range. We're going to say looking for a green to red move on the break of the PDC and a range breakdown. I know it gave us the range breakdown yesterday, but we're looking for that to officially break down and then continue today. So, and a range breakdown from the consolidation on the daily. Okay, we like that one. And if Tesla holds and bounces, or if it consolidates or validates 240 as support, so be it. There's no trade here. No, that's something we're willing to give up. All right, what's next? Meta. Okay, Meta. I put Meta on the watch list because it started to trade back at that $500 hold number. It's not back at that price point now, so this really isn't that relevant. And there is support at 498 and then again at 496, which means that we're kind of limited on profit margin. Like if we were to go short on this at 500, we would have limited profit margin down to the support. It's a little less than 1%. Now, if we went short at 502 and this sold all the way off to yesterday's low of day, that looks a little better. But then we have support at 500. We have support at 598 here. We've got support at 596 there. So I'm leaning more towards taking this off of the watch list. So let's just put it as a side chart for right now. And we'll look at everything else. If there's something that looks better, we'll remove it and replace it. This is a low confidence setup, but we can still argue short below 500 would give you a green to red move on the break of the PDC, would give you a break of this uptrend trend line here, and would give you a break of the whole number. So that is 3 confirmations to take it short at 500. But it's kind of far off from 500 right now. So that's why I'm leaning more towards removing it. So we'll leave it on the list as a placeholder for now, under the understanding that we're probably going to take it off. Boeing, I put Boeing on the watch list, on the focus list, as a stock where I wanted to check on the opening price of Boeing because it's been trying to really hold up above 152, and it's been doing a great job so far. But my thinking was if Boeing had gapped down to 152, we look for the breakdown through 152. It's not trading near 152 right now. It's at 157. So I think that we probably remove Boeing from the focus list and don't even put this on the watch list. NVIDIA. Okay, we can leave NVIDIA on the watch list. This kind of goes hand in hand with the AMD trade idea, right? It's a very similar setup. On the daily, there is a gap overhead from yesterday's high of day to the prior day's low of day. And if we go back to the 5-minute time frame, that gap area has even acted as a point of resistance in the pre-market. So you would be getting a few things on a break of the pre-market high, but the biggest one being likely the entry into this gap area for the gap fill topside. So we'll go NVIDIA long above 106.5. Do we place a short level on this? Where would we go short? Maybe at 104, but that's pretty aggressive. And I don't think that that's enough room between the two levels. So the uptrend trend line looks like that. The next logical place to take this short would be under 103. So we could go NVIDIA long above 106.5, short below 103. And we'll say the same thing as AMD. So there's a gap on the daily top side that can be filled if the stock is to move up. And then, of course, the other side of this is otherwise we just look for lower lows. So short below 103, long above 106.5. I like it. I think that gives this enough room to flex either way here until direction is decided. Okay, Amazon. This was the next one off the focus list. By the way, I'm pulling all of this from when you go to the Day Trade Watch List channel in the Discord server. I'm pulling all of these names from this focus list. So really, you should have these charted out. You know, the reason why I post this every single night is so that you can take the time and chart this stuff out and then match your levels to mine. It's how you get better. So if you just practice charting this stuff, like you should already know that there's a gap on the daily for AMD and NVIDIA. That should not be new news to you. And then you just go ahead and practice setting your levels in the morning. And then when we go live like this, you can compare and contrast your levels to mine and make adjustments as needed. All right, Amazon, I put this on the list as a continuation move down. I thought that this looked to me, I know it's not pretty, but I thought that this looked to me kind of like a bear pennant pattern that started to break down. And so I was mainly just looking for the continuation move down on this. So I'm not super keen on taking Amazon long, even though it's gapped up. But I think that this still does offer us opportunity. If this gap up, if this rally here gets sold, there's still good opportunity on this and good profit margin down to 171 area under 174. So we're going to say Amazon short below 174. And that's our focus list. So now let's roll through everything else that I kind of have on my master watch list here, if you will, and see if there's anything that we'd like to trade. Right off the bat, UNH we see is gap down significantly. This is due to earnings. UNH typically is not one that, it's not a super popular stock, used to be, but it's not a super popular stock that is really day traded now, so we're going to leave this alone. But it is nice to keep up with price action like this. So UNH down from earnings. It's not really relevant to us, but we'll keep rolling. Meta, we already talked about it. So what I'm looking at here, I'm going to go through these very quickly. What I'm looking at here is this gray shaded area on every single chart. I'm looking at this most recent gray shaded area, and I'm just looking for price action that looks interesting or any different than what anything else looks like. So something like this, right? Alibaba gapped up. Alibaba gapped up. We could probably assume that there is some sort of news on this. Let's see. These are all talking about Alibaba stock falling. None of them saying that it's up this morning. Okay. Well, you know, obviously trading higher for a reason. Maybe we just leave it alone then, since I can't find any company-specific news. But this doesn't look bad for a possible continuation idea topside. This, to me, looks like a bull flag. So long above 112 could work here. In fact, I said that if we find a setup that looks better than Meta, we'll add it. I like this better than Meta. So let's go BABA over 112. This is definitely something. If this was like Apple or Google or Microsoft, you know, one of the bigger names, this absolutely would be like a top pick of the day. But because it's Alibaba, it's a China name, it's like it's kind of difficult to trade because it's known for gapping up and gapping down and then not doing anything with the US markets. So we'll keep rolling. I don't have high confidence in that one. That's going to be a side chart, but it's definitely worth a watch given that move. Netflix earnings this afternoon. We're not going to trade this prior to the earnings report. Hunter said, how are you clicking on stocks and showing them to you on the chart? You've got to link it. You've got a link right here. You see the symbol link, 1, and then you see how this is symbol linked to 1. When I go to the next chart here, it just automatically connects 1 to 1, 1 to 1. I could do a flex grid. I could change this to, let's just say, 2 charts, and I can link this one to yellow, right? And then I can click over here and link this to yellow. So then if I change the chart here, it'll change the news widget there to whatever, you know, so, but yeah, you just got to link it. It's funny, on YouTube, my best performing videos are like walkthrough videos of Thinkorswim. None of the strategies that I put out there for trading, you know, the red to green strategies, the rules video that I made, how to trade gap ups, how to trade gap downs, making thousands of dollars per day, live trading reviews, none of those videos perform as well as Thinkorswim walkthrough videos. I guess it's what they would call that they call it evergreen content, because it's almost, people I guess think that when you watch trading videos, they're like only specific for that trade that day, which isn't the case, because I always talk about lesson of the day when I make my review videos. But I suppose people think that these Thinkorswim videos are they call it evergreen content. It'll always be relevant until the system changes. Google here doesn't look bad. I'm looking at this as a possible break of this downtrend trend line, which would then give us higher highs. Reclaim of 156. If we do get a bullish market today, or a reversal market back up to continue topside, I like Google. I think we should add this to the list. Google over 156. Thinkorswim offers, you can call them and have them, they will demo their platform for you. They will walk you, like if you have questions like that, write it down and then go ask them. Call them up. They'll do a 30-minute screen share session with you for free. They'll demo their platform for you, and they'll answer all of your questions. If you don't know, you should probably be doing this too. Go to the Help tab and click on Collect Garbage. Do that every so often as well. It'll help your system run a little smoother. Don't worry, it's not going to remove your indicators. CGC pot stocks were up yesterday. I saw that. I don't think we're going to trade this because it's a penny stock, but I do like keeping up with pot stocks. When they get moving, they really move. I mean, I know you would consider, you'd be like, oh yeah, well that's a pump and dump, sure, but I do think at some point pot becomes federally legalized. I don't think that is necessarily going to happen under this administration, but if and when, likely when that happens, get ready for those things to like probably 20x. I'm not saying to invest into them, but you can make your own judgment call there. All right, so if you're just tuning in, we've reviewed the watch list completely. What we're doing right now is just looking for secondary additions to the list, maybe going through looking at pre-market price action, trying to identify anything that we might have missed. Apple here has a pretty solid downtrend trend line. And then the $200 whole number is not far off overhead, which we know to be a natural point of potential resistance. The thing about Apple is it doesn't make big moves typically, and from where it's at up to 200 is already a 1.5% move, and you would need bullish market backing to push this higher. So I'm just going to set an alert at 200. If that goes off during our trading session, for anybody that's trading live with me, we will take a look at Apple and then make a judgment call at that time if we want to trade it. But right now, I think it still has a little bit of recovery room that it needs to make before it gets to a point where it's really in play for us. All right, let's keep rolling through. So what we're looking for, again, is just anything that looks a little different in the pre-market session. Maybe something that's moved up on news, maybe moved down on news, maybe just showing relative weakness or strength. We're almost to the bottom of the list here. And then after this, we'll review our full watch list again. UAL came all the way back down. I saw so many people hyped up about UAL yesterday with the gap up, and I said, well, you need to be careful because the conference call is at the open, and look what happened. It fully retraced. A lot of times you'll see that happen. They'll match earnings or beat earnings estimates. Stock will rise, and then whatever comes out during the conference call oftentimes will change the dynamic of the stock. And so we saw that yesterday. Weeble still made a solid run yesterday, but also sold off. There's big money to be made here and big money to be lost. I wish that I was more attentive, and maybe because I probably would have been a buyer on Webull at $10. Honestly, I probably would have. I might have even been a buyer at $30. Really, $80 too much, $50 too much. If this comes down a little more, I'll consider it. But there's nothing there for right now. Okay, SPY. So let's go back over the watch list here. Looks like this uptrend most recently is starting to break down. So this is kind of confirming that bear flag breakdown. Long above 532, short below 525 for a break of the PDC, a green to red move, and the continuation move down. Looks fine. I like both of those levels. NVIDIA, long idea above 106.5, looking for the gap fill top side, otherwise short below 103 for the continuation move down. Looks fine. I like it. AMD, same. Long idea above 90.5 for the gap fill top side, otherwise short below 87 for the continuation move down. Looks fine. I like it. Tesla, looking for only one thing. That's going to be the break of the 240 ranging support on the daily for the continuation move down. I like it. Looks good. Looks fine to me. Three more. Alibaba, long above 112. This stock is showing a lot of strength here in the pre-market. We'll see if we can get a continuation out of it today for the move topside. It looks like a bull flag here in the pre-market session. So yeah, BABA over 112 looks good. I like it. Amazon, looking for the continuation breakdown of the uptrend trend line here in the pre-market session. Short idea below 174. Looks good. And Google, long idea above 156. It is pulling back right now. We'll consider this to be a hedge idea, hedge play. And then we also have alerts set on Apple at 200 just in case that goes off. So notice this watch list is built. We have long ideas on the watch list. We have short ideas on the watch list. This watch list it's not me making price predictions. Please understand that. I'm just creating a trading plan. And I'm utilizing something known as if-then scenarios. So if Google breaks 156, then I take a trade. If Google does not break 156, then I don't take a trade. I'm not making price predictions or assumptions. I'm not saying I think Google is going to break 156. And I'm also not saying I'm going long on this at the open under the assumption it's going to break 156. That's not the way that this works. All that I'm creating is if-then scenarios for potential trades. If none of these stocks if Tesla holds 240, if AMD and NVIDIA consolidate, if Amazon doesn't break below 174, I'm not taking any of those trades. See what I'm saying? So it's okay to not take trades if your plan doesn't hit. So please, please, please don't get it twisted. Okay, team, we are trading live today. By the way, all of that live trading will be conducted here in the Discord server, not here on YouTube. So you've got to be a member of the Discord server to join the live trading. We continue the $1,000 account challenge. Come give us a try. If you're not an active member of the Discord server, come give us a try. It should be a link in the description of this somewhere where you can join the WAP, and that'll give you access to the Discord server. And, hopefully I can help you learn. You'll get full access to me, full access to questions, our Q&A sessions every day, full access to the live trading. I'm giving you my entries, my exits, my reasoning for these trades before the trade happens, during the trade, while it's happening, and then on the YouTube videos after it happens. So it's a full circle of information. I don't know anybody else that's doing anything like this. And good luck if you're part of anything else getting access to any other trading mentor. I just don't know anybody that's going to have the time for you. Maybe there are some out there, but I pride myself on being extremely responsive. So if you want somebody who will work with you willingly, come join the server. Okay, live trading conducted in the arena right here under the voice channel. Scroll all the way down in the arena. That is where the live trading will be held. I'm going to end this stream here and get the watch list posted for you. If you're tuning in late, this will be available for you to review on playback. So just go put it on 2x speed. You have plenty of time before market open. Go watch it back, put it on 2x speed, and roll through it. All right, good luck today. It's the last day of the week, so let's try to protect capital if we're green on the week already. Maybe trade a little conservative. No real need to press the envelope here. And if we're given opportunity, don't hesitate. Just take advantage of it. Trust the analysis. All right. Cheers. We'll see you over in the Discord server. Take care. And I'll get this watch list posted for you right now.